It's the Go Mike podcast where the mic is golden. This is a podcast. I'm your host, Mark Paul. And today we got the American Cholo. All right. So I've done a few videos about American Cholo. And what I gathered about American Cholo is that he is definitely an anti-black Hispanic. He talks about black people in a way where it just seems like he is just really, really bothered by us. And I don't understand why is he so bothered with black people. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We are going to explore the fact that American Cholo is angry. He is mad at Tariq Nasheed for going on No Jumper again and telling the truth about him. All right. So we're going to get into American Cholo's video in response to No Jumper having him back on. And let's get into it.
Last month. And we posted up a video of this brother, American Cholo, saying a particular word, coon, etc.
Right.
Now, he said it was out of context, etc. So that, they pulled up.
Yeah, he definitely said that him saying those types of words was out of context. And I don't give a damn what type of context he used those words in. He shouldn't have used them in the first place. But let's go.
And he kind of gave more background, and he actually told us that video was actually a response to something Tariq said to him. And you said something like Mexican or some, right?
We weren't talking about him.
We weren't talking about him. Here's the audio. I took the video out because these guys will try to copyright it and try to get out there so that way nobody listens to it.
You see how he's just playing victim? It's called fair use, buddy. If you are doing a reaction to or criticizing other people's material, you're more than welcome to use it by law. But let's go. Just like I'm using your video and you can't do nothing about it. But let's go.
Audio of that same thing over 2 years ago, before I made any videos on this fucking jackass.
We have to deal on the West Coast. We have to deal with a lot of Mexican coons out here. And not all Mexicans are coons, but you got a lot.
You hear that? He said out here we have to deal with Mexican coons. And not all Mexicans are coons. He made that clear. Not all Mexicans are coons. So the people that have a problem with that, we just have to apply that old saying, only hit dogs holler. So he's hollering because he is a Mexican. But let's go ahead and go.
Mexicans out here who want to be white, want to be Anglo, like Hispanic vendors. So now they're like, a lot of the essays are trying to talk.
A lot of the essays. Why do you say Tariq don't live in the hood? Because he's bringing up the essays, bringing up the homies. I wasn't on no gangbanging shit. I'm talking like a man. Insane.
So you want Tariq to come from nothing, make it big, and just turn his back on black people and not speak on black issues at all. So the fact that you keep pointing out that Tariq don't live in the hood don't mean nothing. It has zero merit. It has zero merit. We would be more mad at Tariq, and shout out Red Supreme, because he made this clear. We will be more mad at Tariq if Tariq got all his millions and said nothing about us. We appreciate Tariq Nasheed for being some rich guy living in some rich neighborhood, but he still find the time to talk about the issues that other black peoples are facing. You want to call him a sellout, you want to call him a coon, but if he made all of his millions and he still is reaching down trying to build us up, how does that make him a sellout? How does that make him a coon? It will make him a sellout or a coon if he indeed got all of his money. If he got all of his money and he never said jack shit about the black community. He just stayed in his white neighborhood and just said nothing. Like what a lot of black people do when they get some money. A lot of black people, when they get some money, they don't got no time for nobody else but they damn self. They don't care. They made it. They ain't thinking about nobody else. They think that, oh, since I made it, oh, well, everybody had the same 24 hours as me 7 days a week. They should get like me. That's how a lot of black people feel. But Tariq Nasheed is not like that. Tariq Nasheed, he is a millionaire and he is still grassroots. So you got no choice but to respect that. But let's continue.
And I always have. And he's coming with some other bullshit, right? So he wants to talk that gang politics shit. Well, you do it because, you scream in Compton, you live in Riverside, homie. You that guy.
What does that have to do with nothing? You scream in Compton, but you live in Riverside. So if you grew up in Compton, if you lived in Compton, you can't, and you made your money and you moved out to Riverside, you mean to tell me there's no way that this person can ever speak on issues that's going on in Compton? Like, what type of ideology do you have, bruh? Do you even notice how dumb you sound? Do you even notice how dumb you sound, American Cholo? You sound like a fucking idiot. You sound like an idiot, a finger-pointing idiot, because you know damn well that your platform was built on anti-black racism, and you were mad because people are calling you out on it. Your own people called you out on it. So how are you just trying to use Tariq Nasheed just to get all of your frustration out? But let's continue.
War this or war that. How come we ain't coming out saying nothing? Now listen to this guy. This guy's making this little veiled threats here.
No. Let's keep going.
Okay, so why are we continuing, American Cholo? Why are we just keep going? Why can't you let that whole clip play? Why can't you let that whole clip play? You want to go on No Jumper and cry about how, oh, they posted an unedited clip that was out of context of me, but that's all you doing. That's exactly what you just did. That's exactly what you tried to do when you had Skip Townsend on your show. You want to talk about how you got all of these black people on your show. All that is just what Swifty Blue has been doing for the last couple of weeks. All that shit is damage control because you was caught with your pants down. People know who you are. Ain't nobody stupid. You know that you can gather some black people to sit down and have a conversation with you, but I bet you're cherry picking who you having a conversation with. You're not going to have a conversation with somebody that's going to give you pushback. You're not going to have that. You're going to have a conversation that they're going to just support everything you say. Like AD, you guys want to cry about Flacco interviewing Tariq Nasheed. Y'all rather AD, but AD, he does not have no real connection to black issues. You know, you call up AD if you got some gang issues. Like, that's where he's an expert. He's not an expert on black issues. And for black people, it'd be better if AD did not speak on black issues. AD is cool and all and got no problem with AD, but he does not represent black people in a way where we need representation. But let's continue.
Because it only gets better.
Because foundational black American,
the two faces of the Pimp Nasheed.
He's trying to point out the two faces, but yet he is using an edited clip. He is skipping over the whole complete thought. So what narrative are you trying to push? And you heard in the video that he just played. He said, we have Mexicans in California and not all Mexicans are coons, just like not all black people are coons. You know, we got coons as well, like Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum is the biggest coon on YouTube. It's like you can't get no more coonish than Officer Tatum. Like, he thinks he's white, like point blank period. So we have this problem with people that look like us and don't have no connection to us talking bad about us. So what do you got to say about that? But let's continue.
Listen to how nice we've always been fighting. We're NAACP, we're this and that. Listen to him.
Fighting for the Hispanic community and all marginalized people, because we don't like marginalization. We don't.
You hear that? He's trying to prove a point, but where is Tariq wrong at? Where is Tariq wrong at? You guys directly benefited from the programs and all of the resources that we fought for as black people. You guys benefit from it. Not everybody fought for things and got it, but we fought and we got things, but our things was for everybody. Why we can fight and fight and fight. You know, we getting killed, getting beat, getting lynched, fight and fight and fight. But when we finally do get something passed, we got to share it with everybody. You know, people always talk about the civil rights. Oh, y'all got the civil rights, affirmative action. Did you know that affirmative action actually benefited white women and old people of all races? So everybody got to benefit from the Civil Rights Act, not just black people, even though we were at the forefront of the fight. We were on the front lines of that fight. But yet what we fought for, what we received, we have to share it with everybody else. Now imagine us fighting for all of these resources and have to share it with somebody that don't give no fuck about you. Imagine that. How would you feel? Put yourself into a black person's shoes, American Cholo, and ask yourself, how would you feel if your people fought for resources and then everybody and their mama got to benefit for what we fought for, what we died for, what we got beat for? Like, come on, homie. Like, let's just continue.
Any type of discrimination,
We don't like any type of discrimination or bigotry, right? All right, that's the one face of the pimp.
bigotry, the race. That means the race, by the way. He keeps saying La Raza. That means the race, by the way. So you want to be Anglos are the worst. You just want to be Anglo. You ain't.
See, and he's talking about those Mexicans. He said not all Mexicans are coons, and he's not talking about all Mexicans, but this American Cholo guy is making his business to try to make it seem like that Tariq Nasheed is talking about all Mexicans. And he's not. He's talking about those specific Mexicans that carry that racist white person ideology. That's who he's speaking about. Let's be clear. Don't let this American Cholo guy try to trick your mind into thinking one thing when it's really another, because he have a track record of trying to deceive people, just like he tried to deceive Skip Townsend into believing that Tariq Nasheed was talking greasy about Hispanics and their accents. And I'm gonna go ahead and link that video right here. So go ahead and check that video out where I show how American Cholo had Skip Townsend on his platform, a real respected individual in the Los Angeles area. He had Skip Townsend on his platform, and he really tried to deceive him into thinking something that is false. But let's continue.
White, you're just a white person on consignment, but you wanna, all you black.
You ain't really white. You're a white man on consignment. Always pushing that same bullshit narrative that we want. Motherfucker, I'm a brown man, oh boy, and I'm proud.
You remember when I said only hit dogs holler? And you remember when Tariq said in the early video, not all Mexicans are like that. And you remember I said hit dogs holler? He's hollering because he hit, because he's one of those Mexicans. It burns him up that people are pointing out his fault. It burns him up that people notice his bullshit. But let's go.
Brown. Just like black men are proud to be black man, I'm not gonna fucking sit there because I can use the same shit. I can use, well, what last name you got? Sounds like you got Jefferson. Sounds like you got Jackson. Sounds like you got some white blood in you. But that
Look at what he did right there. So can you believe that this guy is really trying to make Tariq Nasheed out to some anti-Hispanic racist? And look at the stuff that he just said. Let's rewind that. Let's listen to what he say, as if black people had white people's last names and we just wanted that. Like, come on, bruh. If you go back in history, a lot of the slaves had the last name of the slave owners. That's how a lot of black people have those last names, American Cholo. But you want to use that as an opportunity to take another dig at black people. You know, the fact that a lot of black people do have white people last names. So that's your opportunity to dig, right? Let's listen to him again.
ain't really white, you're a white man on consignment. Always pushing that same bullshit narrative that we want. Motherfucker, I'm a brown man, oh boy, and I'm proud to be brown. Just like black men are proud to be black man. I'm not gonna fucking sit there because I can use the same shit. I can use, well, what last name you got? Sounds like you got.
How is that the same shit? How is your last name and your mental ideology the same thing? That's something that we couldn't help. We couldn't help that we were, our ancestors were slaves and they took on the last names of the slave owners. We can't help that. But you can help your ideology. You can help having that anti-black ideology. You can help that. You can put that in check. How are we going to change our last names? How is that even an equal argument? It's not even an equal argument, but let's go.
Sounds like you got Jackson. Sounds like you got some white blood in you. But that's that bullshit Tariq does, homeboy. But don't sit here and tell me that the majority of us think we're white men. We're brown.
He never said that. He never said the majority of Mexicans think they're white. He never said that. So I don't understand why this guy want to sit up here and try to point out faults of Tariq Nasheed, and look at the bullshit he's doing while he's trying to point out the faults of Tariq Nasheed. He is spewing anti-black rhetoric as we speak. As we speak. So how are we going to ever have an equitable conversation with this dude when he seems like he's holding a grudge against us? But let's go.
Man, we're proud of it. Just like black men are proud of being black, we're proud of being brown. And what's the issue with that? Anytime a brown person speaks, all of a sudden, oh, look, that's racist. That's racist.
Nah, anytime a brown person speak with that ideology, that of a racist white person, that's when it gets called out. Let's keep it funky, man. Everybody's not just talking about Mexicans, period, really. And when you do got a platform to speak, ain't nobody just automatically just calling y'all racist just because y'all trying to get your point across. Man, stop it. It's nonsense. But let's go.
Oh, you black rappers, y'all infatuated and love. That's because y'all. And another thing, they hate when the Mexican girls be fucking niggas left and right, which most of them do. That's what they really don't like. Those little Hispanic girls fucking niggas left and right, and then lying when they come up.
You see how he's nodding? He didn't stop it and say no. He didn't stop it. He had no problem with Tariq Nasheed saying how a lot of Hispanic women now are dating a lot of black people. Because I said in one of my other videos, I grew up in LA. I remember a lot of the Hispanic females did not mess with black people, and we wouldn't know why. But when you speak to our Hispanic homies that got sisters, they'll let you know that their parents told them not to mess with black guys. Their parents told them not to mess with black guys, so therefore they didn't. So just like how when white women have racist parents, they rebel against their parents because they know their parents is fucked off in the head. They rebel against their parents and do the complete opposite for what they are taught. So that's what these Mexican females are doing. Man, I was in LA earlier this year, nigga. I ain't see that many black couples. I seen hell of black and white, hella black and Mexican, mostly black and Mexicans. So he's nodding his head because he know that it's true. He know that Hispanic females, got a thing for black dudes. You know, he know that shit. And a lot of them people that scream La Raza, they don't like that shit. They don't like the fact that their women are attracted to us, you know, because it's not even reciprocal. It's not even the same thing the other way. Black women aren't necessarily attracted to Hispanic dudes, and they're not necessarily unattracted to Spanish dudes. But when you flip it, there's a abundance of Hispanic women that love fucking with black dudes, and that's a fact. And you see, he didn't have no problem. But let's look at what he did have a problem with.
I didn't do it. I didn't.
That's
I did not
the
do it. Yeah, she did it.
You see, that's where he butts in when Tariq Nasheed starts mocking them. All right, so I'm going to say this. Maybe Tariq Nasheed probably shouldn't have, you know, made that type of how do I say? You know what I mean? He shouldn't have said things like that, but you got to understand, Tariq Nasheed is an entertainer. So a lot of the stuff that he says is for entertainment. A lot of times when he's going back and forth with other immigrants, like, you know, they'll say something crazy about him and he say something crazy back about him. All of this is for entertainment. So you know how people love a shit show, you know. So if you got something that shows just a little bit of drama, yeah, people are going to pay attention. If you got something to make people laugh, people are going to pay attention, you know. It's all entertainment. I think that, you know, that was a light joke. And I don't think that it was that serious, but that's just me.
That's the pimp. That's the pimp Nasheed. All the motherfuckers that know Jumper that run the place. When I said the motherfuckers, I mean Adam. They know damn well what Tariq talks about on his platform. They know damn well the race baiter
Tariq Nasheed talks on his platform about empowering the black community. So why do you have a problem with that, American Cholo? See, you still spewing your anti-black rhetoric. You don't even know you're doing it. Why is having a person that uplifts the black community, why is that a problem for you guys? Why is that a problem? I tell you why. Because some of you are anti-black Mexicans. So let's go.
But why do they let him in? Because they don't care about Raza, homeboy. He don't give a shit. He gives two fucks about Raza because he knows we typically don't stand up for ourselves. He knows we'll just go with.
Why would any black person really care anything about La Raza? Not Hispanic people in general, but La Raza. And because we all know La Raza was rooted in anti-black rhetoric. Like, how is he really trying to point out Tariq Nasheed being anti-Hispanic racist when he claims La Raza? And La Raza is rooted in anti-black racism. So you screaming La Raza actually shows what side you stand on. So why are you trying to defend it? Why are you trying to defend what you are? It is what it is. Live in your truth, American Cholo. We know what you are. We know what we're looking at when we're looking at you. You can't fool us. You cannot fool us. You can fool all those goofies that listen to you. They got a hard on when you get hyped up and you speak your mind. Yeah. But let's continue.
He knows we'll just sit there and be like, man, no llores, don't cry. But this motherfucker's talking about your daughter. He's talking about your wife. He's talking about your granddaughter. He's talking about your niece. That's how.
Don't he sound like Joe Biden when Joe Biden was trying to pass the 94 crime bills? He sounds just like Joe Biden. If you ever have time, go look up the C-SPAN videos of Joe Biden trying to get those crime bills passed. If you go look at those C-SPAN videos, it eerily mirrors exactly what this guy is saying now. And I'm gonna just say this again. Like, why is that, American Cholo? Like, why are you prone to anti-black racism? Answer me that. But let's go.
This vile piece of shit the pimp talks about are fucking women, are men.
Is he lying? No. It'd be one thing if he was telling a lie and American Cholo say he said this. Now, this is a lie. That is a fucking fact, bruh. It is a fucking fact. I literally broke it down. It is a fact that Hispanic women love them some black dudes. It is a fact. And you know the majority of the older Hispanics don't like that. Because y'all live by that La Raza. Make the race better, right? Lighten up the skin, right? Don't mess with black people. It's going to make the race worse, right? Let's go.
Black American organizations, we've always been fighting. The black rappers, they really don't like those.
You see how he's just skipping through stuff? That's how you know he's coming in bad faith. He's not coming in good faith. Because if he was coming in good faith, he would play a complete thought. He won't just go in the middle and do like he was, like the same thing he was mad at No Jumper for doing, posting a edited out of context clip. But all he does is show out of context edited clips. But let's go.
Yeah, he did it.
There'll be more. Let's keep it rolling.
I believe a protest was done. Mm-hmm. Now, the protest came because I think American Cholo went on Power 106.
Right. This guy's racism is way more vicious than that video where...
My racism, huh?
Yes, your racism, buddy.
Racism. What a racist does, they try to point out somebody else, call them a racist, so they don't get exposed, right?
What are you doing right now, bruh? He just said what a racist does is call out other people to try to expose them as racist. That's basically what he just said. So, and then we sit back and we wonder, what is he doing with his track record, trying to point out Tariq Nasheed to be some type of anti-Hispanic racist. But what have your platform been built on? Anti-black racism. So you are what you just pointed out.
Tyga was just kind of lollygagging around. So that was the thing. People were looking at Power 106. How are you going to call somebody racist with another racist that you're sitting here holding hands with? So that's why Power 106 got called out. One of our sisters out here organized, Connie Collins. Shout out to Connie Collins.
Connie Collins. Let me play the audio of Connie Collins, okay? This is the one he just gave a shout out to. On No Jumper. Shout out to Connie Collins, right? Connie Collins is, you know, this fighter of rights for human beings, huh? Let's hear it.
Because you're desperate. You're in a country that we built. You're in a country using everything that we invented. You're in a country that isn't yours because your people are a failure. Your country is in shambles. You have to swim across borders. You have to send your children with grown-ass men you don't even know. You have to prostitute yourselves to get here. And you want to talk about what we're not going to get? What you're not going to get is you're waiting for the white man to give you more tacos.
We're waiting for the white man to give us more tacos. We prostitute ourselves. We come from failure countries. Every fucked up stereotype you could think of, they say about us.
But is that a stereotype? You have to really look into yourself, American Cholo, and you got to remove just yourself out of that, because maybe nobody in your family is going through that, but you got to think about reality. There is, in fact, people that go through everything that lady say. Now, I don't agree with her saying that you're just waiting on the government to give you some tacos. Yeah, that's out of line. But the stuff that she said before that, it is a total fact. And please disprove those facts. There are people that do all of those things, including selling their bussy or pussy to get over here. It is a total fact. So what, you mad at the honest to God truth? You mad at the raw and uncut truth because you don't like the way it sounds? Don't nobody care about how you feel about facts, homie, because facts are facts and they can't be disputed. If it happened, it happened. If it's happening, it's happening. So I don't see how you can just have a problem with somebody spewing facts about how a lot of you get over here. How are you mad? I would be mad if all of what she said was untrue and nobody was going through those types of things to come to the U.S. Like I said, she was out of line for saying you're waiting on the government to give you tacos. She's definitely out of line. But was she lying about the stuff that she said prior to that?
Connie Collins, Tariq's homegirl, gave her a shout out. No jumper knows this. Adam knows this. Punk ass Flacco knows this. They all know this, but this is the double standard.
And again, why is it the thing to disrespect Poetic Flacco? Just because Poetic Flacco didn't come from LA, just because Poetic Flacco is not a gangbanger, just because Poetic Flacco is not a gangster, don't mean that he don't deserve respect. You talk just as bad as everybody. You talk bad about all those other people, but you don't disrespect them. You calling Tariq Nasheed, you calling him a race baiter and a pimp. But yeah, he is a self-proclaimed race baiter, and whether he's a pimp, that's here nor there. That's not necessarily disrespectful. But you make it your business when you address Adam. You say Adam. You don't say that things like that white culture vulture. You don't say nothing like that. You give him the same respect. But when you talk about Poetic Flacco, when a lot of these Rasa people talk about Poetic Flacco, they talk about him very disrespectfully. And that right there is not right. I think some of us need to stand up for Poetic Flacco, even though Poetic Flacco, he is a loose cannon. I don't think we should defend him if he really does something that is out of line, but I think that we should defend him when we got people just thinking it's okay to just disrespect him, because it's like it's the thing, just to disrespect Poetic Flacco, and I don't understand where that's coming from. But not to shy away from my original point, was Connie lying about the things that she said, other than the taco statement? Ask yourself, but let's go.
That I'm calling out and they don't fucking like and the industry doesn't like. The double standard, they'll let a black man and a black lady say all the vile and disrespectful shit to us as brown men and women. I ain't taking that shit. I'm not going to sit here and just let it go. People are saying, Gil, why are you bringing it up? Why? Because they're on a platform that has 5 million fucking followers. And just like fucking Adam said, oh, you know.
Yeah, 5 million followers is going to hear the truth about you, right? 5 million followers that is going to listen to this possibly objectively and make their own conclusion about what's going on, right? Well, let's go.
There's certain newsworthy things, and we got to keep it this. All right, well, why don't you report that shit? Why don't you report that your guests are black supremacists that believe that we as Latinos are just here, that we swam over here, that we're just a bunch of fucking EBT people, that we're just... Can you imagine a white person saying that about black people and saying...
All right, is it true? That's what I keep going through. All right, you mad at people making true statements, but you're not disputing whether they're true or not. You're mad at people making these statements, but you're not disputing whether they're true or not. Have a problem if they're not true. Then you have a problem. But if they're true, you got to take it on the chin, and it is what it is. You can't stop reality. Reality is set. Reality is there. So you can't change reality. So if it happened, it happened. You know, you can't be mad about it because it sounds bad. But let's go.
The fucked up stereotypes of black people? Could you imagine if I was out there saying all the fucked up stereotypes about black people and pushing that?
You have, buddy. You have.
I don't push that agenda, homeboy. I push the agenda of coming together and speaking together as brown men and women, black men and women coming here to my home. They don't.
No, you come together to finger point. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. I'm not going to make this video too much longer. You can go check out that whole video of American Cholo if you want. I'm not going to go through the whole video, but it's titled The Two Faces of No Jumper and the Pimp Nasheed. You can go ahead and check that out. I'm not going to go through all of that, but I am going to say in closing, American Cholo, you got caught with your pants down. You got called out. It is what it is. Your platform is rooted in anti-black racism, and you cannot change that. Anybody can go back on your old podcasts, and they will find that in every one of your videos, y'all found some type of way to speak about black people in a negative light. Every video, it's almost as if you guys was on a round table trying to figure out how you're going to take the black person down. That's what it sounds like. You guys had all of this crazy stuff to say on your platform, and you're going to be mad because people pointed it out and called you out about it. Even your own people called you out about it. You had a guy on your show talking about we need to protest blacks getting reparations. Yeah, a lot of people do blame that on you. A lot of people blame the statement about protesting reparations for black people. A lot of people do blame that on American Cholo, and it wasn't American Cholo. It wasn't him. It was the guy Sonny that he used to have on his podcast. It was Sonny that was saying things like that. But it's not as if the American Cholo guy cut into what Sonny was saying and said, nah, man, that's wrong. You shouldn't say that. Nah. You know what American Cholo did say? American Cholo co-signed what Sonny said by pointing out, and this might be true, but he co-signed it with his statement. He co-signed Sonny with his statement, and it may be true. But one thing American Cholo said was that black people got white people so scared, and he makes it seem like that's the only reason that we might get reparations. Not that we deserve reparations because of what happened to us historically. Not that, that there is a debt owed to black people that has not been paid anymore. No, none of that. None of that at all. And I think that this American Cholo guy really need to look deep within himself and try to figure out who he is. Understand who he is. Look at your old videos as if you are not you, and try to critique you. And you let yourself know. Don't talk to nobody else. Don't try to get people on your side. Talk to somebody. Talk to yourself and ask yourself whether this sounds bad or not. And if you are a fair person, I guarantee you're going to find a lot bad about the things that you were saying if you were listening to it objectively. But that's here nor there. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Watch the rest of the American Cholo video on his channel. I don't know what more to say about this guy, so I'm going to just go ahead and go. It's the Gold Mike Podcast, where the mic is gold, and this is a podcast. I'm your host, Mark Paul, and I'm out.